So this lesson is in support of lesson 1.8, and I want to offer an example of how you can explain the value sort activity to your students. So as you see here in the instructions in lesson 1.8, it's really about explaining what the value sort is. So I will begin by explaining to your students what values are, that they are ideas or principles that are important to us. They hopefully guide our decisions, but not always. Um, Things like how we spend our time, our how we spend our time both in work and in our personal lives. And they're influenced by a variety of factors, often by family, but also by friends, our communities. And there are a lot of different ways that values are constructed, and they can also influence how we make our decisions when we are faced with difficult decisions. So, for example, you could refer back to some of the dilemmas that you've already tackled in these lessons and say that values are some of the elements that help impact um, the decision-making process in difficult situations. Um, I would also explain to the students that the values in this sort are a combination of a couple of different things. So they are both things that we value. So it could be, for example, rewarding and supportive relationships. Um, and then they are also characteristics that we aspire towards. So, for example, honesty and integrity, or a strong work ethic, hard work, and commitment. So that combination of things are in the value sort, and we're going to ask the students to wrestle with them. And then I would pull up the value sort activity and sort of just model your thinking as you go through it. So I've done that here. Excuse me. And you can just explain to your students that, first of all, there is no right answer. There's no one ultimately perfect value and all these things that should be in the most important column. And I would also explain that this is a forced choice sort of thing. It's not easy for a lot of people to choose between what's more important to me, to grow personally or to be honest. Those things they're all good things. And I would also explain that on a given day, one thing might be more important than another, and that's okay. They can do the value sort as often as they want. And in fact, we would encourage a regular process of reflection. So, this is what I would do. So on today, let's see, what's most important to me? I definitely think that um, important to me are relationships. So rewarding and supportive relationships are always going to be important to me. I put that in the most important column. Curiosity is pretty important. Is it going to be one of my top four? I don't know, but I think I'll put it over here for now. Um, it is important to me to kind of uncover the truth. So I might put that up here in the top. Spirituality, I'm not a very religious person, but I do think a lot about and reflect a lot and consider myself spiritual. Is it in one either most important or more important? I don't think so. I think I'll put it here in the relatively neutral column. We'll see if it ends up there. And one of the things that I would explain to your students is, you know what, challenge is important. Teaching and mentoring is important. Oh, but if it gets to the point where I have so many in this column that I have to bump something over, you can always do that. So explain that it's a process. Is it important to me to be recognized by my field? Yeah, but I don't know if it's up here. Wealth and material billing to well-being, yes, important, but it might end up over here, I have a feeling. And by the way, I've done this once or twice before. Honesty and integrity, very important to me. So you can just explain that this is a process, and as you go through, things might end up being moved over or back, and that's okay. So I would just be upfront with your students that this is a reflective process. It's something that we hope that they will continue to do. And grappling with these values is important. If it's difficult, they're doing it right. Okay, hope that's helpful.